Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
Good morning. Good morning. I don't know where you are, but it's not a really good morning here. One of those mornings where you wake up and go, why did I wake up? What in the world is going on? Well, if you've been anywhere near South Florida for the last, week now? I think we're going to float away here very shortly. But before we float away, let me welcome my co-host. That's Carolyn. Carolyn is with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, this is the young lady you have to talk to over there at Atlas Trax. Good morning, Miss Carolyn.
Happy cloudy Sunday, Riscala.
Well, we're looking at the radar. It doesn't look very promising. It appears to have something may have started overnight, because I looked at the radar last night. It wasn't quite so active as it is today. We do have small craft advisories out, so today's just not going to be a day. It's sad to tell you, it's going to be another Sunday where it's not going to be a day for a boat, unless you got an ocean liner. Then you might be able to get out there and enjoy yourself. But typically, small craft advisories are out. Beach warnings are out. We have, let's see, today they're calling for southeast winds, 10 to 15 knots, gusts around 20. Calling for the seas to be a minimum of 3 to 5 feet. Occasional seas up to 8 feet. Yeah, and with a small craft advisory out there as well. If you're going to go to the beach, please be careful today. We do have severe conditions at the beaches. There is a rip current we got to remember, anytime all that water's coming in, it's got to go back out. You got to be aware of where that water's going back out. You don't want to get caught in that. It's a hairy situation to get caught in that. All right, let's see, tides. Well, we've already had one. The high tide has occurred at 4:20 this morning. The low tide will happen at 10:25, right after the show. Hey, you can go out and right after the show and enjoy the low tide. High tide will be again at 4:54 this afternoon, and then the final low for this period will be 11:05 tonight. Get the equipment out, oil it up, clean it up, do what you have to do to make sure that you're ready. And once you're done with all that, maybe go take a nap. What do you think, Carolyn?
Well, you know what? A nap sounds good, and I have to tell you, what happened to this morning is the thing that no boater wants to happen. We have dock boxes on our dock, which is where you store all your gear, your dive gear, your salt, your sand, and I left the lid open over the week and discovered it's full of water. So If you can imagine a box that's 10 feet long by 4 feet wide by 3 feet tall, full of water and rusty chains and gear and everything else you can imagine. I was bailing this morning. Things are rusted, and I finally got it drained out, but now everything's going to get wet when it gets rained on again. But at least the box is empty, and that's the nightmare no boater wants to have.
Oh, my goodness. Just silly question, but it doesn't have a drain plug where you can just pull the plug and drain in case something like that happens?
You know, it's going to have one later today when I get my Dremel out.
I was just thinking, I mean, you know, it's out there in the elements, and there's a possibility something could leak. Gee, wow.
Yeah, that was a bummer. I went out today and I went, you're kidding me. And it's been pouring here in Deerfield Beach area for 4 or 5 days now. So not even the fishing, no ability to get the boat out, nothing. Every time I uncovered the furniture, it rained. So.
Well, we do have flood advisories are in effect all the way from Dade County down there in Miami, all the way up here to Palm Beach County. We're still expecting a lot of rain. I think it's 6 inches. I'm trying to find it, but I don't remember if that was the right number for today or not. But you can count on a lot of rain. 90% chance of rain today, and it drops to 80% tomorrow, I think it looks like. And between today and tomorrow, we're supposed to get quite a bit of water. So be aware that if you're one of the low-lying areas, we do have flood advisories out. If you're thinking about going out in your craft today, I would suggest that you think twice about that unless you're going out in the backwater, going out in the lake or something like that, or in the intercoastal. Think twice, because we have small craft advisories out. Just not a day for boating today, generally speaking. The weather's not going to be really inviting. We've got 90% chance of thunderstorms. Phew, wow. Now, it's going to be a wet day, so find, like Carolyn, she discovered she had a flood. Take care of the things that you normally would put aside, and today would be the day to do it, as long as it's not outside, right?
Yeah, and I can tell you, at least you know what things float and what things don't. And but there's a lot of cleanup going on. And for our friends up in North Carolina, South Carolina, there's a big system up there too, I think, that came in from the ocean. So everyone's got to be safe up the coast.
Yeah, I thought that was a hurricane up there. Am I wrong?
You know what? Was a hurricane. It looks like it wasn't a bad one, but right now it's Myrtle Beach, Charleston, Savannah, all of that coastal area. And those folks have to go out, 60 to 80 miles to fish. So hopefully things are all right there. But ICR radar all the way out to the Bahamas and even the west coast of Florida has got some disturbances and some pretty heavy downpours.
It looks like, I can't believe this. It looks like there's another storm brewing down near the Cayman Islands, down below south of us, southwest of us. And believe it or not, the track goes right through New Orleans. How many storms have these people had this year? Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That's got to be like number 3 or 4?
I think even more. And I had the pleasure of talking to Wanda Stewart yesterday. She was going out for an event, and she calls in frequently. And, she's like, enough's enough. But at least yesterday she had a break, and she was able to get out a little bit. I'm flabbergasted. I really am. I think it's 4, if I'm not mistaken. It was 2, one right behind the other. We had that here in Florida a couple of years back, where we had 2 of them 2 weeks apart. Literally, the eye came within 2 miles. It was 222. It was like the old Double Mint commercial. Now I'm showing my age. The old Double Mint commercial. It was 222. It was amazing. And these people, now it's got to be number 4. And it's going right through. It looks like it's going to go right through New Orleans again. Ah, my goodness. Right. And our friends over in Houston, that area too, are getting get the beating too. But yeah, that's almost. I'm almost done with hurricane season. We're getting close.
Oh, 2020 has just, my goodness. And you're talking about the Carolinas. Well, we've got, it looks like a storm system literally running from Florida all the way up through, my gosh, all the way up into Philadelphia. This is how big this thing is. It's just one huge, massive, you know what I think it may be? It may be a side effect of this hurricane, this tremendous hurricane. I don't know. I haven't seen anything like this in a while. This is crazy. Literally from down in the Keys all the way up to not quite Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Delaware, all in that area. Heavy, heavy rains. When I look at the radar and it's coming up yellow and red, that's serious stuff. Oh my goodness! Yeah, and all to the east of us is all yellow. That means it's heavy thunderstorms. When we see the red on this one, the red I think means it's high wind as well. There's a couple of places popping up. So it's not going to be one of those days, but hey, what the hey? We can do other things. We can still have fun, figure out something else to do. And
I'll tell you what else. Tell you what else I'm going to do. If I could plan the rain right, I'm going to run out, soap up my car right before a rainstorm. See if I can get a little
That's
car
an
wash.
idea. I like that idea. Hey, you might even be able to do it real quick if it's just kind of, sprinkling a little bit and get out there and that'll kind of prime it for you and get it all soapy and then just come back inside and let Mother Nature do its thing. Clever.
That's
very
free
clever.
water. I'll take it.
Yeah. That's very clever. I like that idea. Oh, well, did you get to do any fishing between when it wasn't raining this last week?
Riscala, I have a fishing rod at the back of my slider door, and every time I tried to get the cover off the boat, more rain came in. It was strange. It was like an afternoon, and then it was a yard filling, street filling deluge, and then sun would come out. So unfortunately, no boating, and even our little canal here was real choppy when the winds were kicking up.
Wow.
So I never even got the fishing rod outside.
Wow. Well, I think we have Robert on. Robert is with the Florida Fisherman Magazine. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning, everyone.
Happy Sunday, Robert.
How is it? Happy Sunday. I was snook fishing yesterday.
Oh, he's going to rub it in.
I could not believe how high the tides were.
Oh. I thought you were going to rub it in. I caught a bunch of I was waiting for it.
We caught a couple, but the thing that amazed me the most was we fish at the same boat ramp all the time.
Mm-hmm.
and there's mangroves on both sides of the ramp, which is where we snook fish, along those front of those mangroves. And the water was all the way up in the mangroves. I mean,
Wow.
like halfway up the tree mangroves.
Wow.
And the boat ramp was, I mean, you could launch it from the field, just about. So,
My goodness. Are we having a full moon? You don't even check on that. I should have checked on that.
I don't know, but I have never seen the tide that high there before.
Well, you know,
Well, I can tell you guys, I had to look it up. It's called a king tide, and it happens in the spring and fall down here with the moon cycles. And I guess it's pushing a lot of the water, obviously pushing a lot of the water in toward land. But it only happens twice a year. And boy, I can tell you, the water's over my dock the last couple of days too.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Amazing.
Isn't that awesome when you think about it? I mean, this is what they tell us anyway. Here's another, what would you call the moon? It's not a planet. Anyway, there's another celestial body out there that can literally affect the water on this planet. That's crazy. That is crazy. Wow. So did you get to, other than just the other night, have you done any other fishing?
No, not really. The weather has been shitty.
Oh, yeah.
as we
Weather's
all
been
know.
very unforgiving.
I went over and talked to Patrick Price from Daymaker Charters, who has spent 8 days inshore because of weather. And we've got a trip planned for when it stops, so we're going to go out and do some cobia fishing.
Oh, cool. Good deal.
Yeah, this is the time of year for those who like cobia fishing. The early in November, actually, month of November, pretty much is a great month for it. If you can find a nice, calm day, which is hard this time of year, where the water is not stirred up, you can go just cruise along the beach and sight fish for cobia. They'll be on the rays, they'll be on posts, they'll be on. It's the time of year. It's perfect.
Do you have a favorite bait for them?
For cobia, crabs, but they love to eat crabs. But
Really? Wow.
if you don't have those, any of the tube lures seem to work. Barracuda tubes work great for cobia if you're just pitching stuff, and but they will never they cannot resist a crab.
That's amazing.
Wow, Robert, I wish I knew a little bit earlier. I had a dock box flood on a huge 10-foot dock box, and it had a couple of live crabs in it. I would have saved them for you.
Yeah, those little crabs, they love those things.
Wait a minute. You had crabs in how did they get in there? Oh, because you left it open.
Right. Somehow they climbed in there somehow, but they were little, maybe size of a $50, which don't exist. $50 don't exist anymore, so let's call it an inch and a half.
Oh, my. Well, you know, next time, if there is a next time, you know what to do. And that means they're in your yard.
That's great news. I could throw them in a canal on a hook.
There
you go.
I mean, that's what we used to do as kids. We'd go down the canal. The only thing we'd take was a bucket and tackle box. Bucket, tackle box, fishing rod. It wouldn't take bait. We'd go down there and catch our own bait. If you didn't catch bait, you didn't catch fish. Too bad. Go ahead, Robert.
And if nothing else works, you can always crack open a barnacle. That works for bait. So
yeah, that's what. Well, these were more like mussels.
Did that many times when I was a kid. So
these were more like mussels.
They opened the barnacles.
Somebody called these. Maybe they call them oysters, but they were plentiful along the side of the canals. And just we'd break them off and then open them up and use what was inside to catch a little pinfish, and we'd take that pinfish and put it on a hook and go for the big boys.
Yep.
So I know it looks nasty where you're at because I'm looking at the map and it's all up and down the steps.
Yeah, it rained most of the night. My pool is. I'm looking at my pool. It's about an inch from overflowing.
Oh my goodness.
And and it's black outside. It's just pure gray, actually.
And we do have coastal flooding warnings are in effect. Their beach warnings are in effect. Again, it's not going to be a typical day for you to go out and enjoy yourself at the beach or go out in a boat, do the other things.
And don't go to Jonathan Dickinson; they're flooded. So
yeah, it's one thing it does impress me about South Florida. We can deal with a lot of water pretty quickly. I mean, I haven't lived in a lot of other places for lengthy times, and my time in the Air Force, they put me in a couple of different places, and one of them was in Texas. And you talk about a flash flood. Oh my gosh, I'd never seen anything like that. Where if the place is absolutely dry, and they have these like canals of cement. I don't know what you call them, but they're made out of cement. They're purposely made for draining water. They'll be dry, and in a matter of 5 minutes or so, water's rushing. God forbid you get caught in that thing. Lord have mercy. And we get rid of water pretty good around here. That is impressive to me because we've had so much water. It's unbelievable.
And there's really no place
Yes,
to go. At least if you're in a New England or a place with a basement, at least I remember my basement getting flooded as a girl in Connecticut on the shoreline. But here it goes, where's it go? In your house. So you got to be careful with that. And with the wind, we've had more high winds. You got to worry about the down power lines if there are any. Transformers are typically blowing. So yeah, it's not going to be a really nice day. I don't know about you, Robert, but it's almost like a napping day. You can't get out, and you can't.
It looks exactly like a nap day.
Oh, all right.
Well, there's a whole lot like a nap day.
Three of us in agreement. So as soon as I get done with this show today, I'm going to go take a nap.
Yep.
Well, I was out this morning, and I have noticed, I don't know if you've noticed this, Robert, but I have noticed the last couple of days it's just a little cooler. The humidity wasn't quite as high in the morning. Of course, by the time 10, 11 o'clock rolled around, it was right back to usual. But that first period there, when I go out and I walk with the dog, it was a very pleasant surprise to have that. Did you notice that? A little drier, a little cooler?
Yes, it was 74 degrees this morning instead of 84 degrees. So
oh, I didn't even notice that.
It's a nice change. So
wow. Carolyn?
Yeah, and 79. There was 79 down here. We're a little south of Robert, but 79 last night, which is nice. And I'll tell you, the temperatures keep coming down like they are. A lot more people are going to get back outside and enjoy the exercise. And, the only other bummer is the time change coming up soon, but we'll have to deal with that soon.
I wish they wouldn't mess with
It'll
the
be
time.
dark at 5 soon. So
I wish they wouldn't do that. I really, the days normally get shorter and longer on their own. Why do we have to get involved? I think from what I understand, if I'm not mistaken, that was all introduced during the days of the war to save electricity. I think that's what,
it was.
Go ahead.
I think it was
honestly.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Carolyn.
I was going to say, I think that was because of that, and also having more daylight hours for the children to farm between school. I think that's kind of what that was set up.
I heard it had a lot to do with farmers. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and I heard a rumor that in Florida they're going to try to do away with it. So I'm not sure how long that'll take.
Well, it would be nice.
Yeah, I don't know if they're voting to do away with it or keep it year-round. I don't know which way they're going there. So.
Just leave it alone. Pick one and leave it alone. My goodness. It really is a difficult, I don't know about you guys, but it's a difficult time for me when we go, just people say it's just an hour, Riscala. But my body is so used to, doing something. I find myself out, and then I look outside and it's dark and it's like, it looks like it's 10 o'clock at night and you look at your watch and it's 5:30. Oh man,
yeah, I know.
It just takes a little while to get used to. If they just leave it alone, I think we'd all acclimate to it a lot better instead of having an abrupt change like that.
Oh, absolutely. And even just the fact of like a day like today, you're getting up and you're like, what time is it now? Because it's so dark outside, and I'm like, oh great, I got 3 more hours to sleep. I'm like, no, it's 7:30. Get up.
Yeah. It's going to get it was almost dark when I got up this morning at 6:45. Just a little bit of light showing. And so if we're going to go back an hour, that means it'll be 5:45 and it'll be like that. It's ridiculous.
Well, I did find out while talking to Patrick Price that the sailfish tournaments are going to go on. He's already registered for 5 of them, starting with the one up in Merritt Island and all the way down. So sailfish tournaments will be coming.
Good.
I don't know, how many boats will be in or how much is going on, but they've got them all still going, and looks like Patrick's in them, and if he's in them, probably a whole lot of other people are in
Good.
them. So.
Good. That really kind of warms my heart. We need to get back to doing things we're used to doing and just start living our lives again. It's just I'm tired of. They told us initially when all this started, a couple of weeks. We're 8 months into this thing, and I think it's just been overblown. Whatever. That's just my personal opinion. That's how I feel. I'm tired of
my
hearing about
personal opinion is none of them have the guts to tell the truth, which is we have no idea.
I'm glad you said that.
We have no clue what's going on here, and we don't know what to do about it. So that's why if somebody got up there and said that, I'm sure people would have a great deal of respect for it because they'd recognize it as the truth.
They made a mistake.
We have no clue. We don't know what to do about it, and we're trying to figure it out. So.
Yeah, it is. They made a mistake, and they're harming more people than they're helping at this point. We've got to turn this thing around and get on a different road. And these little steps that we're taking. Tournaments are opening back up. The governor's saying we're in phase 3 all through the state, allowing these businesses. I tell you, it rubs me so bad, but it is what it is. I can't do anything about it right now.
But I can tell you all, I was not aware, but 2 nice-sized tournaments occurred yesterday for Kingfish. One was the Wild West tournament out in St. John's Pass in the west coast of Florida.
Wow.
And the Southern Kingfish Association finally put one on. I think that was in South Georgia. And it looked like I was watching some live scales yesterday. There were some decent fish there, and that at least was getting people out. And, there's kids divisions and parents divisions, and it looked like they all had a good day. So at least people are getting out and doing what they love.
Excellent. That's cool.
Well, the fishing's been phenomenal because of the lack of pressure on the fish this year. So fishing has been phenomenal. Patrick and I talked at length about that while we were doing the fishing report. But, the lack of pressure on the fish has been phenomenal. They are still catching mahi in the Keys. Patrick was out.
Not Angelia.
10 days ago, and they're still catching mahi here. So,
I don't think you heard me. I said not Angelia. They've avoided her. They've avoided her all year.
She's still skunk.
Yeah,
still skunk.
Still skunk for the year.
She's caught everything else, but they've avoided her. I don't know how they got around her. Oh my goodness! Oh, Robert.
She's not that far away from Two Kong Charters. Tell her to go find Jack Carlson because he seems to have found them all.
Jeez. Wow. Robert, thank you so much for taking time to share with us this morning. Greatly appreciate it. People want to find your magazine, or if people want to submit, you guys can submit a story. If it falls within his parameters, he'll stick it in the magazine for you, your story, your pictures, all of that stuff. How do they do that, Robert?
Absolutely. The magazine is at www.flfishmag.com. And if you want to send us some pictures or a video or an article, you can send those to pages@flfishmag.com.
God bless you, my friend. Wish you an awesome day regardless of the weather. Let me let Carolyn say goodbye to you. We're going to go to our break.
Stay
Carolyn,
dry,
you
my
have
friend.
a wonderful day, dear.
You stay dry. Thanks, Robert.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Riscala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped. Even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclubb.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878.
Want to give your pet the celebrity treatment? Have you heard of Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care in Royal Palm Beach? They're located just off State Road 7 and have been servicing the area for 14 years. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care is the home of the Blueberry Facial, also specializing in tartar removal with 8 years of assisting in dental procedures. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care? They're more than just about dogs. They are the only experienced cat groomer in the area. They also cater to all breeds and sizes and open 6 days a week. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care, located just north of the Super Walmart in Royal Palm Beach. You can find them at 250 Business Parkway. They specialize in shampoos with no extra charge. Flea and tick dips also available. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. You can give them a call at 561-793-9992. They also provide gift certificates for those looking for that special present. Holly Wolf Pet Grooming and Care. 561-793-9992. They're located in Royal Palm Beach. That number, 561-793-9992. Call for your appointment today.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We have ignition. Strap in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing in Florida when the sun shines all day. They call me a grouper, so I'm fishing in Florida. Oh yeah, fishing in Florida.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
Good morning, good morning. Well, the weather isn't all that good, but it can be a good morning. It can be a good day anyway. There's things that we can do. We may not be able to go out in a boat. We do have small craft warnings out today for those of you who are thinking about going out in the ocean. It's not the puddle to play in this morning. It's going to be a little rough out there. If you want to go out in the backwaters, that's a whole other story. We have intercoastals. We have lakes. Oh, my gosh. If you're somebody who doesn't like water, you're in the wrong place. And if you're somebody who doesn't like rain, you're in the wrong place, because we've had rain after rain after rain. All right. Well, if you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to my friend over there at Atlas Trax, Miss Carolyn. Good morning and welcome back.
Thanks for having me on again, Riscala. It's something I really look forward to on a Sunday.
And I appreciate you taking the time to share with us, and I have such a good time with you. Thank you so much. Let me welcome the next guest. That's Jim. Jim is a professional angler here in South Florida. He's going to share with us a little bit of his experience. Good morning, my friend.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Go ahead, Carolyn.
Hey, good morning, Jim. I missed you at the store, the customer on reel the other day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was in there for a little bit. I had to get some stuff and haven't been in there in a while, so I figured I'd go get the guys and go hang out and see what's up for a while.
So have you...
Yeah,
Go ahead, Carolyn.
I was going to say that's what's great about local fishing, supporting local fishing stores and tackle stores. You just wander in and plop yourself in there for an hour or two, and all of a sudden you're like, I've been here all day.
Yeah, it's true. You only want to go in there for 30 minutes, and you end up there for an hour and 30 minutes at least. It's all good, though. It's a fun time there.
So share with us a little bit of, have you done any fishing this last week? It hasn't been real friendly for fishing, but have you had the opportunity?
I haven't really done a lot of fishing this week, but like the week before we did some fishing, caught some swordfish, and we caught some kingfish and sails on the reef. They're starting to show up and bite a little bit, but the rain and 30 knots of wind hasn't really been helping the people offshore very much the last couple of weeks.
Any size to the sorties? So you getting them 10, 15 miles offshore? Or?
Yeah, we had one that was probably close to 200 pounds.
Wow, that's nice. So are you are you selling these when you come back?
Yes, because my buddy I fish on has a commercial permit, so
I see.
We're selling them on a book. So,
and are you selling them to like restaurants, or do you sell them to the public?
I sell them to a fish market that's in Pompano. It's called Caribbean.
I've heard of that. Okay, yeah,
all over the place.
I've heard of that fish market.
Right.
Wow.
That's where you wholesale it to, and then from there it could be to a local restaurant. It could be shipped out to New York or anywhere in the world, really. So it all depends on where the people needs what size fish. So it's pretty awesome because you never know. Your fish could end up in Boston or New York, or it could end up anywhere. Or it could be
That's crazy.
On a local place. You never know.
It is kind of crazy. You think about it. It's true because of the ability that we have today between the technology and the logistics that we have available to us. That's absolutely true. It could literally end up on the other side of the world somewhere. That's crazy when you think about it. I've never thought about that.
Yeah,
and you know, I was going to say what's so cool about Jim is from a fishing family. His father was an avid fisherman. His mom is still an avid tournament angler. I know that Jim and Carol, they fish a lot together, mother, son, which is awesome. You don't hear of often.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
They make a really cool pair. So not only is he fishing and doing commercial fishing, he's fishing family fishing and tournament fishing for a lot of the local tournaments. So Jim's what? Well, you caught your first fish when you were like 4, right?
Yeah, pretty close to that, yeah. So
I think it was.
I've been on a boat since I've been like 6 weeks old, so I never got left at home. So
that's awesome. It's a whole. The fishing in my life. The fishing in my life was a vital component of growing up and I believe helping keep our family together. So when I hear about stuff like that, for me that's heartwarming, man. I do what I do on this show is to try to give people an option that there's other things that we can do. We're surrounded by technology. I'm grateful for technology. That's how I earn my living. If I didn't have technology, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. But I also believe that it's just like work. You have to take a break every once in a while. And for me, the ultimate is to get out there on the water.
Yeah, even if it's up and down the intercoastal, which I know the weather hasn't been that great lately, is even that's a plus because at least gets you out there and you feel the salt air, and it's really peaceful regardless. Even if you're not catching much, it's so peaceful being out there. So that's the way I look at it. Not every time you go out there you crush it, but it's what you want to do. But it's not always. Fish don't always always want to play that game, so it's part of it. So
yeah, you always catch the tournament fish the day after the tournament
or the day before. Right. Or that's why I don't go pre-fishing for a tournament, because that's usually what happens. I was like, nope, I guess we're just gonna wing it. Wherever we're gonna set. We either catch them or we don't. So
hero or zero.
Yeah. So tell me about the sailfish. So how deep were you catching the sailfish? They're starting to come through our Pompano area, right?
Yes, they're starting to come through from Pompano all the way up to the north of Jupiter up there, because they're coming down from the north, and they've been biting between like 110 feet to 190 feet on the reef. Wow. You can either catch them flying kites with goggle eyes, or get a lot of good technique this time of year. There's been a lot of ballyhoos around on the reef. You anchor up there and you chum them up, and then you catch those ballyhoos and you go bump them around between 100 feet to 200 feet, and you'd be catching nice-sized dolphin and sails on them this time of the year because of there's a lot of those around.
That's a good question, Jim. How do you rig up a live ballyhoo? How would you grab one, and how would you hook it, and what would you do with it?
Okay, so you to hook a live ballyhoo, you hook him right through the bottom of his jaw, and you take a piece of copper wire that you usually see on your ballyhoos when you're trolling, when you troll one that's already set. Like you hook it through the bottom of his jaw, and you take it like a 12-inch piece of copper wire, and you wrap it around his bill. And you don't break his bill off, and you just hook it in there with like a little 5/0 J hook, and you wrap it around his bill, and you keep the hook set in there, and then you pretty much just slowly troll it like at idle speed, like this in gear, and then you just troll them around, and that's pretty much what happens. They'll stay on the hook they'll stay on that like that for over an hour, unless the fish eats them, of course.
So are they, when you're doing this, they're relatively on the top of the water then? Or are they going?
Correct.
Okay.
No, they're right up on top, and it's really cool to watch because you'll actually see a sailfish come up behind them, and the ballyhoo will start jumping out of the water, and you look back and you're like, uh-oh, something's not right. Usually they don't jump out. You look back and you see a big shallow behind them trying to eat them. It's really a cool, effective way of fishing.
I have had a couple of occasions when we were running short lines. When we would troll, I didn't have the luxuries of kites back then. This is quite a ways back, but we would typically troll on either side of the vessel with outriggers, and then one in the middle. And the middle one would typically be a short line, what we called a short line. It wasn't very far back behind the boat. And there was this one time we were pulling ballyhoo with a skirt on it, and I just happened to catch it out of the corner of my eye. Something moved, and I looked over at the short line, and I could see this dolphin coming up to grab this ballyhoo. It was awesome. That was the first time I'd ever seen it in real life. I mean, I'd seen it on video, but as the first time in real life, it's different when you see it and it's real. It was awesome to watch this thing come up out of nowhere and just zip right up to this and nail this thing. So I can imagine.
That's what's cool about fishing with top baits, because the bite is so visual that even if you hook them and you jump them off, it's just seeing the bite. It's like it will never get old seeing it. I mean, it's kind of not fun when you jump them off, especially if you're dolphin fishing. But hey, it's part of the game. You can't catch them all. So the same with shellfish. That's one of my favorite fish out here to catch on a reef, is because they're so acrobatic and they can move around so fast. Sometimes they beat you to the hook and they knock the bait right off the hook, and you're like, okay, I guess I just missed that one. But hey, watching the bite was cool. So that'll never get old.
Wow. Go ahead, Carolyn.
I was going to say, on a good week, how often do you get out fun fishing versus commercial fishing with your buddy to get some sorties? I mean, are you doing a combo during the week?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I've been doing a combo. Like some nights, if the swords are really biting, there's some nights we've gone 3 nights in a row, and it's like it's a grind pretty much. Like you get like 3 hours of sleep and you're back at it again. And then when you're just fun fishing, it's like I try to do at least once or twice a week if I can. It just depends all on the weather. So
I had a friend of mine I used to go sword fishing many years ago, and they always did it at night. And I didn't realize until I started doing the show that there's somebody, who is it, Carolyn, that does it during the day? Somebody that we've had on the show does it during the day.
Sure. That was Dean Panos at D&D Charters out of Miami.
Yeah, and I never realized that. I always thought it was during the night, and when I found out it was during the day, I'm like, what do you think, swordfish? That doesn't make sense. But that's what they do. It's they go out there during the day, and from what I understand, when you go sword fishing, you're like fishing like 1,000 feet, 1,200 feet of water?
More like 16.
Holy
more
smokes.
like 1650 to 1850, really.
Holy smokes! So
you're using a 12-pound lead to hit the bottoms, and it's like. It's crazy some days with the current we get out here, how much line you have out the hook one. It's not easy.
That's what
I was going to say.
Yeah,
how much line and what size reel are you guys doing? You doing big 80s and
80s, or a lot of people have been using there's all different types of reels. You can have a Dolphin electric, which is like a normal size, like an 80 or a 130 with a motor on it. You got the hooker reel. You got the Daiwa MP3000, which is good for sword fishing. The best one on the market is probably the LP, but that's one that's going to cost you a lot. It's like almost $6,000 for one of those reels, but it's
holy smokes! $6,000 for a reel?
Yeah, that's not even including the rod. So literally, by the
Oh,
time
my
you're done with
gosh.
it, you got some. It's like almost you could buy a house for what you got in there to
Wow.
go sword fishing.
Well, I have a guest that comes on from time to time. His name is Bruce Marks. He told me that there was thousands of dollars, but I had no idea it was like $6,000 for a reel. That's so. What is the physical size of these? I'm trying to vision this in my mind because I'm not familiar with what you're talking about. How big around is the drum on these reels? Is it like 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches?
Probably bigger than that. Honestly, the reel by itself weighs 22 pounds, so it's
Oh my gosh.
not light.
So what pound test are you using?
We're usually fishing either 65-pound braid or 80-pound braid, depending on the current. I personally like to fish 80-pound braid because if you do hook a nicer fish on there, you got a little bit more. The line's just a hair bigger, and you got a little more. It wears them out just a hair more, but it's tough. You can't. If you fish any more than 80-pound, you got too much scope in the current, and you got you got too much line out, and it's impossible to hook them.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Riscala, what's interesting is I have a customer not yet a customer, who is going to go into the reel rental market, the high-end reel rental market, and he wants to use some of our Atlas Trax trackers to permanently mount them to like the LP brand reels that Jim was talking about. So that way, if somebody takes them out, at least he knows, where they are, if they're going to be returned, and that's a great idea because the surface area of the reel is so big.
Golly.
Yeah, that's a good idea actually. And another good thing about the LP reel is it's made in Pompano, so it's like if you have anything wrong with it, you can just drive right to Copens Road and go out on Copens Road, and the LP's right there, and they've been doing it for a long time. So that's my favorite reel to use when I go daytiming. Or you can use it for more than just daytime and for sword fishing. You use it for multiple uses because that thing has multiple spools you can put on, which is nice. So if you want to go sword fishing one day and then you want to go do something else, you can just take the spool off and put a new spool back on. So it makes it a lot easier on you.
That's pretty neat. Wow.
Yeah. So you can have one electric reel, but you can use it for like 6 or 7 different things. Where if you have like any other electric reel, you got to stick with whatever size braid you put on there. Then say if you want to do something different, want to put heavier stuff on, that means you got to strip everything off and then put new braid back on. So it's a lot more work if you don't have an LP in some ways.
I'm thinking in my mind now, you're saying 16, 17, maybe 1,800 feet of water. That means that I'm thinking you've got to have, 2,000 feet, 2,200 feet of line out in order to be able to get down?
And sometimes more than that.
So how long does it take you? Let's say, first of all, how do you know you got a fish when you got a line out? And you got how many pounds to 10 pounds to get it down?
Yeah, 10 or 12-pound lead is the average weight. Well, what you do is you drop with the current and you spin around, and it's a big process. You have to drop with the current, drop the bait with the current, spin around. Then you're going against the current, and you're bump trolling backwards is what you're doing. And then what happens is when the fish taps the rod, they're hitting with so much power that actually the lead moves, and that's what makes your rod tip jerk down. It's like a weird, like you'll be sitting there in the rhythm, and like it's hard to explain, but like you sit there and you'll be looking at the rod, and then all of a sudden when the rod's supposed to twitch up and it twitches down, that's a bite. Like it's something different in the rhythm of the rod that you'll see. And then after a while, then you gotta play with them for a while, like try to hook them. You just can't. They just don't swim up there and eat the bait, which sometimes they do, but 90% of the time they don't. So you gotta try to mess them around and keep them interested, and then usually the rod loads up, and then you know because you see the pressure at the rod bow over. It's a process just to hook one. So it's not like you drop down and the thing eats it. It's not always the case.
Hey, you got all this.
And
go ahead, Carolyn.
And you're doing it at nighttime in the dark. So so you've got to watch all of this at nighttime.
Holy smokes. Okay. How long? Okay, so just because of my curiosity, I'm just a curious kind of guy. How long does it take you to? Are you doing this with an electric reel when you catch these guys?
In the daytime you are, but when I'm fishing at night, I'm catching with my bare hands with gloves on. So it's a whole different story.
You're fishing with a hand line?
Yes.
Holy moly, mama! Wow.
Whoa.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so now I'm really curious. You've got you've got at least 2,200 feet of line out there. What are you doing with all the line? How do you deal with you're bringing it in by hand? What do you do with the line? How do you keep the line from getting all tangled up?
Well, we have a big basket, and so whoever's fighting the fish is usually a 3-person operation. Somebody's driving the boat, one person's fighting the fish, and the other person, what I like to do if I'm not fighting is we have this fight line basket. It's like a big shrimp basket that we use, and we like to coil the line into the shrimp basket. So when you get to the mono part, it doesn't, you don't tangle itself.
Yeah.
So you keep it in the coil the whole time. So and then when the fish takes off, it can just take it right out of the basket. So it doesn't, I'm not saying it doesn't get tangled up, but it keeps it a lot less tangled if you do it that way than if you just leave it on a lot of people leave it on the deck and then you have to worry about it on your feet. And
Yeah. That's what I'm picturing in my mind. Where are you putting all this line? Oh my gosh, that's a lot of line. So you're doing it by hand. Even those times when you don't catch anything, how long does it take you to bring it in?
Well, when we start, it takes us 4 hours to bring the gear in. So
Holy
it takes
smokes! Wow.
Yeah, it's an all-night affair. It's like you start at whenever the sun goes down, which is 8 o'clock, and then you're pulling your gear at 2:30 or 3 in the morning, and then you're pretty much racing for the sun to come up. Because once the sun comes up, you really lose your gear because we have strobers and LP lights, and when the sun comes up, you can't see them strobe. So if you don't get your stuff in time, you start losing stuff, which is not good.
How many lines do you have out at one time in the dark when you're hand lining?
Well, we fish 35 buoys.
Oh, that's right. You guys are buoy fishing.
Yeah, we fish 30. The 2,000 revs is more like daytime, and so when we're buoy fishing, our base is 300 feet down at the most. So it's not that bad. But I've seen 2,000 feet of fight line out though, so it's a mess regardless.
Wow. No wonder you're so tired after.
Oh my
36
gosh, I don't think I'd be able to do it. To be honest with you, I just don't think I can handle it. Wow.
It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of work, but it's well worth it. But it's not easy. I can tell you that you're getting your butt whooped the whole night because if you're not catching them, you're bait checking your gear, and then if you're catching them, you're getting it's just nonstop. So it's it doesn't quit until you get all your stuff packed in. So it's you don't really have to worry about going to the gym after one of those trips.
I don't think so. I think you have
Didn't imagine doing it 3 nights in a row. You're freaking you're hot.
That's got to be a 100% total body workout. Every muscle that you've got. Holy smokes! Wow.
Yeah. The only good thing about that, Carolyn, is I'm not getting sunburned, so my face ain't red all the time.
If you see. Yeah, when you see Jim in the store, all that you see is white eyes, and the rest of his face and everything else is total lobster red. So that's a good thing on that. What's the roughest seas you've been out, Jim? In nighttime, what's the roughest and what's the length of the boat?
I fish on a 32 step hull Contender, which is was a nice boat. It's a 2015. The biggest we've been out there. We weren't planning on being out there, but the weather turned around and one of these fronts came in earlier, and I've seen it up to 12 feet out there.
Oh my gosh, I would definitely not survive that. No.
What's to say is one of those stressful times where we're trying to, we pulled our gear early because it was getting so rough. We're well, it's not worth dying out here for. And it was to the point where we were trying to rip everything as fast as we could in there, and it was kind of sketchy at some points because it was getting so big out there. It was nautical. It was like the stuff you'd see on a Devil's Catch or something like that, but not even where close to how rough that stuff gets. But it was getting out there.
Wow. Wow.
Do you guys wear safety beacons and stuff at nighttime just in case you go over? Or?
Yeah, we have. He has an E-perb on his boat. We have a sat phone, and we always keep everything. He has a safety beacon on the boat, so we always try to keep everything out. And somewhere where, God forbid, if something like that happens, we can get out there. Not saying I ever want to see it, but God forbid. And he has a life raft on there, which is good too. So.
Do you have an Atlas Trax?
My buddy, he doesn't have an Atlas Trax, but I know he has an E-perb.
'Cause-
we got to get you to take one out with you. That way you can at least have it in your knapsack.
Yeah, stick it in your back pocket.
Especially going to 10 miles offshore that long.
Stick it in your back pocket. It's small enough you can put it back there in your back pocket. God forbid something happens.
Exactly. Yeah, I definitely would wear one. Like our boat is more safety, and if the weather is not great, we don't go. Like it's not like as much as I like making money trying to fish, it's not worth my life trying to catch them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And sometimes nothing you can do. Sometimes you get a nasty thunderstorm and weather that pops up out of nowhere. But that's why most of the time we make sure everything's good. And so my boy I fish with is a firefighter paramedic, so it's not like you know how he's organized pretty much. So we all got our stuff online. So it's really nice to fish with somebody like that.
So Carolyn said something that caught my ear, and I'm not familiar with it, so other people may be, but she said you're buoy fishing. Is that right?
Yeah.
So describe that for me. What is buoy fishing?
Buoy fishing is like, you know how everybody's using an LP or whatever, they're using electricals in the day. The buoy fishing is a big, it's a plastic hard ball that has like a 7-pound weight underneath the bottom of it. Then it has a pipe that goes in the middle of it. That we screw on. It has like a blinker and a LP light up on top. So when the sun goes down, the strobe blinks and then you can see your green light up. So we're setting out like 5 miles a gear. So like in the ball's free float at night. So it's like you're not attached to nothing. So God forbid if a fish eats it, that strobe and green light, say if he pulls it 2 miles out of the gear, you actually can see your ball. Where if you don't have that strobing thing on there, right, or the LP light, you can lose your ball and then you're out of ball, which is like $500 a ball.
Holy smokes. Okay, so two things. One is, so this is like a bobber.
Pretty much, exactly. It's like a big bobber, but it takes 60 pounds of pressure to pull it under the water.
Wow.
And I've seen it get pulled under the water for 30 minutes. So
that guy the guy who owns those buoys needs to talk to Carolyn. Put tracker. What happens if have you lost a buoy where the fish takes it? And, wow.
Yeah, where fish takes it, or a cruise ship is out there, doesn't see the green blinker and hits it, takes it out. I mean, we lost a couple balls, but but if you tend your gear like we do all night, you don't really lose a lot of balls. Like you might lose like 1 or 2 a year just for something happened, like a fish pulled it under and never popped up, and it's time you realize where it was at, it was too far, nobody saw it. So sometimes it's like that, or a ship hits it, but that's why we always try to tend our gear so we don't lose them.
Boy, it sounds like a lot of work. What do you think, Carolyn?
It is.
I'm telling you, now I know why Jim looks so tired all the time. I mean, between that in the middle of the night and getting out of daytime and sail fishing and hanging out with his awesome mom, Carol, another Carol. You know, it's a lot of work. But Jim, when's the next time you're hitting the swords?
Hopefully next week. When we like to fish around the full moon because they seem to bite really good on the full moon. So next week is the full moon. So hopefully this weather keeps out. We'll fish like the next week on like November 1st or November 2nd, depending on the weather, of course. And they seem to really bite good after the full moon. So.
Wow. Well, I want to thank you for taking time to share with us this morning. That's amazing. I'm still trying to picture in my mind trying to pull in a 200-pound fish by hand in God knows how many thousands of feet of line out. Oh, my gosh. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
I've seen you take half of our fight line basket is like 2,500 feet of rope, and one night I saw all that out.
Holy smokes.
And we had to hook a second drop to it. That fish was taking so much line, and you just couldn't stop it. It was crazy.
That's a half a mile.
All that stuff back in. It's like, when is this going to end?
It's a half a mile. That's a half a mile. Good golly. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, thank you. I want to thank you for taking time to share with us. I'm going to have you on sometime in the future. You can give us an update. I'll give Carolyn an opportunity. I'll give Carolyn. I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. Say it again.
I said thank you for having me. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, that's all right. We've got a small delay between us, and that's what's happening. Anyway, let me give Carolyn an opportunity to say goodbye. We'll take a quick break. Thanks again. I appreciate it, Jim.
No problem. Thank you.
Jim, thanks for calling in. Say hi to Mom for me, and I'll see you around the neighborhood.
Will do. Thank you.
You're
Nice seeing you.
listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Riscala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Thinking of moving? Before you do anything else, call Diane Whittick. She provides a concierge service. Things like having your home or condo packed and shipped. Even take care of your home repairs or upgrades. Diane has the expertise to get it done. As a seller, you will have constant contact. She will furnish you with bids on any services that might need completion. Air conditioning, plumbing, handyman, and even cleaning. Living up north and have a home to sell here in South Florida? Just give her the keys, address, and a signature. Your payment will be wired when the property is sold. That's right, Diane does it all. Thinking of buying? Diane has great listening skills. Tell her what you want, give her your budget, and like a genie, she will make your real estate wish come true. There's no regrets when you choose Diane Whittick. To reach Diane, call 561-247-5478. That's 561-247-5478.
Everywhere you look, people are talking about CBD. That's why it's such an exciting time to experience HempWorks, the best-selling, most in-demand line of premium CBD oil and CBD products for your health and wellness. Founded by entrepreneur, executive, and business coach Janice Wagle, HempWorks premium quality standards can be found from the top down and across the organization. From hemp farms to clean extraction methods to safe bottling, every step in our production process is vetted, monitored, and traceable, literally from the ground up. Thanks to our unique tracking system on the side of every HempWorks CBD tincture, we can track each batch of CBD oil all the way back to the farm it came from, all to ensure that you are offering safe, effective, and high-grade CBD products.
For more information, go to mydailychoice.com/red pill. That's mydailychoice.com/red pill. And you'll find a whole variety of products available for you.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
GTG, BRB, OMW, be there in a few. You may think that these kinds of texts are fine because of their length, and you can easily send them at a stoplight. But no, answering one text can take your attention away from the road for 5 seconds. And traveling at 55 miles an hour, that's enough time to travel the length of a football field. Make good decisions, don't text and drive.
While other stations just talk a good game, we win it.
Hey, sounds like somebody's having a lot of fun.
I grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. I just caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah. Fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. Good morning. Good morning to you. I wish it was good morning with the weather, but the weather's not cooperating today for us who want to go do some fishing. Maybe you want to fish on maybe under one of the bridges, or you wanted to fish out in the backwaters. You're going to get wet. No matter what you do today, it's going to 90% chance of showers today. Small craft advisories, not a particularly good day. Big thank you to Marina Rock Radio. Marina Rock is Yacht Rock's sister station. They're out of Miami. If you have the TuneIn app, you can find us on the TuneIn app by going to Marina Rock Radio. You can find us there every Sunday morning, 8 to 10 a.m. A big thank you to Marina Rock. We greatly appreciate our affiliates. WCET, our home network. You can several different ways you can listen to the show. Online, you can go there, WCETFM.com. That is our home webpage. And we have a variety of things that you'll find there, and there's a player there as well. Another way you can listen to us, if you're a Facebook fanatic, you can find us on Facebook. We are Fishing in Florida Facebook page. Click on Contact Us. That will get you a link over to the live server. Now, if you click on Contact Us when we're not on the air, you're just going to get, it just clicks you onto the network service. So you'll hear a show, but that may not necessarily be us. So I've had a couple of people say, hey, I listened to your show. It was nothing about well, if you click on when we're not on the air, you're just going to get whatever the network is. So don't be shocked if you click on there at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you're going to hear a show. It's just not going to be the Fishing in Florida show. It's going to be somebody else. So I thought that was funny. A couple of people called me and said, I clicked on your show. I said, oh, did you like it? Well, I don't know. They didn't talk about fishing. I said, what do you think? Oh, Lord have mercy. Anyway, another way you can listen to us, one of the easiest, I believe, of all of them, is we have a free app. Now, a lot of times when you download something for free, they want something back from you. They want some information from you or something like that. I don't want any of that. I was heavily involved in the development of the app. It is a very, very, very basic app. There's no adware. There's no spyware. There is no push notifications. It's just a way for you to be able to listen to our network depending upon what time you listen in. So if you want the easiest way to listen to us, download the app. It's absolutely free. You can find it. It is for Android only, by the way. We're working on Apple. You can find it at the major stores, Google or Apple Store. This morning, I have Carolyn. She is with Atlas Trax. And what I say about Carolyn is if you want to protect what you love to the max, who are you going to call? Carolyn over at Atlas Trax. Welcome back.
Well, thank you, Rascala. I think we had about 30 seconds of sun come through the clouds. Now it's back into the gray.
It happens. Oh, my goodness. Wanted to ask you a couple of minutes. So, when we were talking to Jim, I could see how those buoys I didn't realize it was like $500. That's a lot of money. That would be a great application for what I'm curious. What happens if one of these, if he has one of these on the buoy, and the buoy goes under the water? Does it lose its effect if that happens?
Well, the good thing is the trackers work to about 1 meter or 3 feet plus underwater.
Oh,
so
wow.
the buoy, those, if you can imagine big orange buoys, they're probably about 2 feet in diameter, so they're pretty big. It would be pretty hard for it to, go underwater for a long period of time, and they are waterproof. So if it did get pulled under by a fish and pop back up, it could be recovered. And we were going to work on a project with lobster pots up in the Maine area because there were a lot of lobster poachers, believe it or not. And we were trying to work on a real small credit card flat size tracker for that project because that really would help the lobstermen that work so hard. Same concept with Jim.
Wow. We're going to have Captain Neil Holland. He's with Ocean A 360. They do things with abandoned lobster pots. He says he has something new he's going to tell us about. So he may be somebody you want to talk to about trackers. Maybe maybe not him buying them, but since he works with so many of the people, he's on the other side of the state. He's on the West Coast. But since he works with, he's kind of in that industry, if you will. There might be somebody to talk to about. Since you brought that up, he'll be on later. It's about 9:30, I think, is when he comes. He's due to come on. Our next guest will be Joe Hatfield. Forgive me, Joe Hatfield Farinelli. I think of Hatfield and McCoy's. Is that familiar to you? You know what I'm talking about when I say that? The Hatfield and McCoy's?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think it's like a last name, but his name is Joe Hatfield Farinelli, and he is with Fish for the Cure. Fish for the Cure is a tournament that is being held to benefit people with cancer and the survivors of cancer. And I like to call them victors of cancer because if you beat this disease, then you have fought for your life, literally, and you have won. And winners are victors to me. That's why I refer to you as a victor, because it's not just you didn't survive. You won. It's just a way of I look at it. It may be a unique way, but it's a way of, that I look at it. So he should be calling here in just a couple of minutes, and we'll hear more about the Fish for the Cure. Somehow I think you introduced me to him, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I forgot to tell you, I was in actually a Survivor fashion show the other day out of Palm Beach, and all of the models were thrivers, and they put us in wonderful clothes in a little mall up there off of PGA Boulevard. And one of the gentlemen from the American Cancer Society was there, who is going to be helping out at Joe's tournament. So yeah, absolutely. And it's funny, I was doing my errands yesterday and popped in again to Custom Rod in Rio to see the owner, Jordan, and guess who was in the office? Was Joe, and I had never met him. So I rolled into the office and I'm like, "Hey, Jordan, what's going on? We got to get ready to go fishing." And he's like, excuse me. I'm like, "Who are you?" So everyone hangs out at Custom Rod.
Awesome. Well, so that was a pleasant surprise, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And he gave me a few. Yeah, he did beautiful posters. I'm going to go around town and put them up. Really looking for a lot, more participants to get in and actually fish. All the proceeds go to the American Cancer Society. So even if someone donates, the link is going right to the American Cancer Society, so no one has to worry, is the money going in the right place. So that's what's a really great thing too. So I'm sure we can post up some of the links, as well.
Yeah. I lost my train of thought. My goodness. All right, I was getting. Yeah, this is the joys of getting older, and doing live radio, is that something like that can happen. I was going to ask you something about Jim. I don't. Oh, this is the first. That's what it was. This is the first tournament that he's put on, and this is the second time we will have him on. Hopefully, he'll call in a moment, and we really are asking people to kind of spread the word. This is not a lot of people know about it, so we're trying to get the word out there. They've really gone to a large effort to bring the word out. Fish for the Cure, and I don't recall if he has a website or not, but I hope to be hearing from him in just a moment here, and we can find out. Again,
he does. We do have the on Facebook. If you go to Fish for a Cure, there is a Facebook page for it. It has links to the donation. The tournament is actually on the 7th down here in the Sands Hotel, which is Pompano Beach area. The captain's party is just a couple days before that, also locally. So right now they're looking for anglers, obviously, because that's always fun to watch people come in and weigh in, but also donations. And the actual Facebook page is Fish for the Cure. Dennis Friel is a local artist. He actually just did the painting on the Atlantic Bridge, drawbridge. He's an amazing aquatic artist. He actually designed the shirts and the logo for the tournament. Really good guy. He goes out of his way all the time to really help local.
Yeah, we've had him on a couple of times. He has, I think he has a show of his own. It's called Connected by Water, if I remember right. I think that's what it is, Connected by Water. An amazing artist. I met him at the Jimmy, what's his name? The guy who used to own
Jimmy Johnson.
Jimmy Johnson. I met him at the that $1 million. Oh my gosh, the $1 million worth of prizes going out. Very, very high end tournament. That was Quest for the Ring, I think, is what it was called. And Dennis was doing a guitar. This particular one was held at the Hard Rock Cafe, and he was customizing a guitar, which they later auctioned off and got a very nice prize amount for it, a dollar amount for it. And I think they donated that to somebody, if I remember right.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that was the first time that I had met Carol from Mermaid Vodka. So you were at the same event I was.
That's where I met Carol.
And it was pretty amazing. Atlas Trax had donated a tracker for their silent auction for that event, and it's funny, no one ever called me to claim it or activate it, so I'm not sure exactly where it went.
Wow.
But but this tournament will be great. The disadvantage is that everyone wants to fish tournaments now, so they're starting to get a little bottlenecked. So there's one on November 7th, which is Joe's. The Sands is a very easy place to go to the weigh-in if anybody wants to go. It's a lot of fun. There's plenty of public parking there. It's going to be great prizes. There's a little tiki bar there. And it's easy to get to from anywhere. So if you're looking for a Saturday thing to do, that's a fun thing. It's only a couple days away. I'm sure there'll be vendors set up, and all the proceeds go, like I said, to the American Cancer Society of Florida, which is great. And they're doing a lot of hard pushing for fundraising, especially this month, breast cancer awareness.
And that's awesome because I've had, in my personal life, my mom had breast cancer, and she didn't have anything like that is available today. And I think it would have made all the difference in the world for her. I was much younger then and a lot pretty ignorant to what somebody goes through, and I'd never experienced anything like that. And so it warms my heart to know that there's all these different support groups out there that can help, that can literally make a dynamic difference in people's lives. I'm grateful for that. And any way that we can help, we'll help. He may be having an issue of some sort because I haven't heard from him yet this morning.
And I just texted him as well, but I have to tell you, back to this ladies' Survivor fashion show a few days ago, the boutique, they sent all the girls into different boutiques, and the boutique that fitted me was called Lola Chic. Amazing. So they had outfits ready for us and, let us walk the runway, which I've never done before.
Oh,
and
how
they
cool.
were such a gracious sister team that they let all the women take home the outfit that they wore on the fashion show.
Really?
So I want to give a shout out to Lola Chic that's up at the PGA Gardens Mall. Those girls were amazing. They made us feel like princesses for the day, which was, really a lot of fun. They brought in the group Making Strides, brought in the pink fire truck, the pink police cars. Of course, it was pouring rain, so we all got a little wet, but we that was nothing for us ladies to get in the rain and take some pictures in front of the fire trucks. So I'll post those up and tag on our page all the wonderful people that helped us feel like princesses for an afternoon.
Yeah, I'd like to see. I'd like to see some of the pictures there. I bet you it was awesome. How many were there? How many ladies?
There were about 18 women
Wow.
that were survivors, and what was so great was the ones that had children, daughters, they dressed those girls up too.
Oh.
So there was a lot of moms and daughters walking the runway, and it was a lot of fun. They had little gift bags for us. They gave our little bio of all of us, and there were women that were 11-year survivors, girls like me that are almost 2 years, any age, military, not military, moms. It was just amazing. And, the husbands and boyfriends came up. And I'll tell you, Riscala, it was so rainy that the outdoor event was canceled. One store, a home accessory store, opened up their store at night and let us use their store as a runway. So we had beautiful sofas and, a little bit of champagne. It was a really, really nice event.
Awesome people. People working with people, that's awesome. That's the kind of stuff that just really, turns me on. I don't know if that's the right terminology, but that's the thing. It really warms my heart. People working with people.
I'll tell you that the event was actually small world. It was actually sort of founded, and girls were gathered up through Blue Water Babes, which is the Fish for the Cure tournament every October. So it's just getting your name out, and hey, let's reach out to Carolyn. Does she want to do it? But it's all still that small circle of fishing community.
Wow. Again, the fishing community here, and I'm sure in other places as well, but here because I hear so much about it, is just amazing. It's just heartwarming. Some of the things that go on between the Chase and Tails tournament and this one here, the Fishing for the Cure. There's another one I can't think of the name of it, and the one that you're going to do, but because of the virus was canceled. Which one was that? What was that called?
That was Blue Water Babes, and I have to tell you, I'm very honored. One of my customers, who has an apparel line and also uses our tracking devices, designed a logo for the Atlas Trax Ladies fishing team and kind of has rebranded us the Pink Ladies. And he had an artist paint a beautiful mermaid sitting on a circle hook holding a fishing rod. And not only that, he made us gear. He put it on his website under Pink Ladies Fishing Team for sale, and some of the proceeds will go toward charity of the person's choice. So it's almost like varsity wear. You can get your name on the back. You can just do Pink Ladies. You can do an honor of somebody on the front, a survivor if you want that down the arm. So it's really fun gear to wear that still they're paying it forward to help the girls team and to also help us spread awareness on the disease and supporting others. So I want to thank very much Real Captivating and Sea of Ink up in Wellington and for designing that new logo for us and actually being able to make it available for other people to buy our cool stuff.
See, now this is the kind of thing that I really, really enjoy is when everybody wins. And this, And you can't make it any better. You buy something that you find attractive. You get to know that the investment that you made in whatever that is, whether it's one of the tops or one of the hoodies or one of those things, you get to know that the investment that you made in that, part of that goes back to help people again. Really, to me, that's what life is about. It's trying to help each other whenever possible and enjoying yourself. There's ways that you can help each other and actually enjoy, and get a benefit. You benefit and they benefit. I love supporting that kind of thing, and I'm grateful that you have a support group that does those things for you guys. That's awesome. That really is.
Right. And that family was compelled to do that for us because they lost their mother to breast cancer. So they really, when they met us in 2017, they kind of took us under their wings. And this is all brand new in the last week that's been formally announced. And it's kind of fun to go to pinkladiesfishingteam.com and see your photo and the team and the gear and the cups and the towels and everything that they're putting together. And they really did it all prices. Something is $5, a shirt can be $45, and so everyone could afford something to help out on the cause. And I really appreciate Real Captivating Apparel and Sea of Ink out of Wellington. And I couldn't have dreamed of something like this to help others, especially during Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Now, are they associated with the Fish for the Cure tournament as well?
No, they're not. The only way they were was they allowed us to fish their 62 Viking for the last 3 years of the tournament.
Oh my gosh!
So we just had a real good rapport with the captain and the crew, and they really just liked having us on board. We helped them. We helped clean. We bring them food. So that's kind of how the relationship started, and then this just kind of after 3 years just kind of morphed into a beautiful thing. But they had an artist actually paint this mermaid for us, and she's a beauty. So I'd love to share that with folks. And there's other gear on there too. There's a lot of good mermaid gear on there that's for men, women, children, and I'm just very proud of the project.
That's awesome. Very generous, very gracious people, giving. Again, it's just the kind of thing that I like. I like to support programs where everybody wins. That's one of the reasons we're going to have Captain Holland on. What his outfit does, they go out, and I'm kind of giving you a Reader's Digest version, but they go out and clean the waters for us, just like Lisa Fitzgerald with CCA of Florida. They have a tournament, the only tournament I've ever heard of in my life, where they have one of the parts of the tournament is if you go out and pick up trash, they'll give you credit for that, and they'll put your name in, and you might win money, but the odds are, the end of it all is that you've helped clean up the environment, and that you have an opportunity to win some money and all of that just for cleaning up the environment. So, and those are the kind of things I can't help but love to support. Because everybody wins, and I'm part of everybody. It's kind of a selfish thing in a way. Oh yeah, it's one of those things. I can't. How can you not support something where everybody wins? Especially when you're talking like this. I've had my own battle with cancer. I've had to deal with it twice, and to know that there are people out there who have had to deal with this, and I've been very fortunate in my life. It could have been very, very bad for me, and I was fortunate enough to come through it without having to go through a lot of things. Where other people who have had it they run you through the mill when they're trying to get rid of this out of your body. They literally run you through the mill, some people, and it takes a while to bounce back. And with people that reach out, like Fish for the Cure, or people that reach out, like the Pink Ladies, that have something to offer you, and then with you taking that offer, giving back by buying one of those, whatever that might be, a piece of apparel, whatever that might be. Those are the kind of things that I truly enjoy, because it really brings a special feeling to me, know that we're helping each other. We see so much division today in our country, so many things pitting us against each other. When we find something, a common thread like this, and then it shows the color of people, how what's the word I'm looking for? The heart of people. It shows the true heart of people, and generally speaking, they give. They give, and oh my gosh, especially when I find out some of these things in the fishing community does, how they come together and they give to those who are in need. It truly is amazing.
And, you know, the generosity of the fishing community is pretty amazing. And you know, I mean, you've met the folks from Real Captivating. You know how gracious and just great folks. And, you know, especially at this time, we're coming into holiday season. You know, people are getting a little down. People are ready to start spending time with family. You know, just to have the ability to, you know, get out, wear some cool gear. I mean, and also spread the word and share stories. And it's amazing. A lot of these ladies found out that I'm doing these shirts, and they proudly want the word survivor on the front or in memory of. And they're ordering shirts with their loved ones' names on the back. So I'm really proud of this project.
Cause.
And,
great cause.
And, you know, I couldn't have done it without them. It's something I could have never conceptualized or done. So I really appreciate it. And, you know, we'll see what we can do to help people going forward. But you know, it's a great platform, and you know, even Joe's tournament, the Fish for a Cure, I want them to succeed, even though it's a first year inaugural tournament. And then we've got another tournament right after that, which is one of Trey West's Kingfish Battle. So, you know, people are getting out, and they, you know, we know that they do amazing causes also. Yeah. So. You got to love the fishing community.
Yeah, I do. And it's awesome. It's an honor to be a microscopic part of it all in whatever way that we can be. All right, we're going to take a break and we'll be back. You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show. This morning it's Riscala and Carolyn. Don't go away. Here we go.
You're listening to the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Riscala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Do you need toner for your Epson, Hewlett-Packard, Canon, Brother, Apple, or Sharp printers? Look no further than Laser Technologies. In business for over 20 years, they offer the lowest prices on toner on the web. They can also repair your laser printers and toners fast and easy. Call their expert staff today at 561-792-9600 or email us at service@laser-technologies.com for all your toner needs. All toner is shipped nationwide. Why wait? Get the lowest prices on toner. Call or email us today.
When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers. But that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on adoption, visit adoptuskids.org. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Everywhere you look, people are talking about CBD. That's why it's such an exciting time to experience HempWorks, the best-selling, most in-demand line of premium CBD oil and CBD products for your health and wellness. Founded by entrepreneur, executive, and business coach Jenna Zweigel, HempWorks premium quality standards can be found from the top down and across the organization. From hemp farms to clean extraction methods, to safe bottling, every step in our production process is vetted, monitored, and traceable, literally from the ground up. Thanks to our unique tracking system on the side of every HempWorks CBD tincture, we can track each batch of CBD oil all the way back to the farm it came from, all to ensure that you are offering safe, effective, and high-grade CBD products.
For more information, go to mydailychoice.com/red pill. That's mydailychoice.com/red pill. And you'll find a whole variety of products available for you.
Do you have an unusual pet? Did you know that the Rainforest Clinic in Loxahatchee specializes in exotic pets? They see pets that other vets don't. Parrots and chickens, ducks, geese, turtles, snakes, goats, pigs, lizards, and even monkeys. Are you a beekeeper? Dr. Clubb, the first of her kind in the area? Yes, she takes care of bees as well. Dr. Susan Clubb has decades of experience and known around the world for her reputation as a premier avian vet. Located at 3319 E Road in Loxahatchee, just a short distance north of Okeechobee Road, you will find a modern clinic with in-house labs, which allow you to get your test answers quickly. You can find them online at www.susanclubb.com. That's www.susanclubb.com. Or you can reach her at 561-795-4878. It's Dr. Susan Clubb. That's 561-795-4878. The Rainforest Clinic located in Loxahatchee. 561-795-4878. Listen and imagine. It takes 5 seconds to send a text, and for those 5 seconds, you're driving blind. Life is worth more than a text. Stay alive. Don't text and drive.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We have ignition. Strap in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. It just caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah. Fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida Show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is the Fishing in Florida Show. Good morning. If you're just joining us, we will have archives set up. And the way to find them is a couple of ways. If you go to WCETFM.com, you will find links for the archives there. And if you go to our Facebook page, which is on Facebook, Fishing in Florida, you'll find links to the archives there as well. Many different, not many, but several different ways you can listen to our show. The easiest of all those ways is download our app. We have a free app that has no spyware, no adware, no push notifications. It's just an easy way for you to listen to our network. Absolutely free, no catches whatsoever. That's the easiest way. The next way, if you're on the web, you can go to our website, www.wcetfm.com. We have a player there. And I think we mentioned the Fishing in Florida Show on Facebook. If you click on Contact Us, you can listen to us there. And if you have the TuneIn app, you can go to Marina Rock Radio. Marina Rock Radio is Yacht Rock's sister station out of Miami. They are a TuneIn app. They are a TuneIn station. So if you have the TuneIn app, you can find us on Marina Rock Radio. Thank you, Marina Rock. Greatly appreciate it. We love our affiliates. All right, let me welcome back my co-host. That's Carolyn with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, this is the lady you got to talk to over there at Atlas Trax. Welcome back.
Well, thank you, Riscala. Happy to be here.
All right, I think I have our next guest, and that would be Captain Neil Holland. Captain Neil is with Ocean Aid 360, and he's got an exciting announcement for us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Riscala. Good morning, Carolyn. Happy to be here with you all.
Hi, Neil. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much.
So you told me you have something exciting you want to share with us. What might that be?
Well, I'm excited to listeners a little bit today and expand on the information they may already have about our Ocean Aid 360 Ghost Trap Rodeo event series. As your listeners will certainly recall, I expect, the Ghost Trap Rodeo event series is a unique fishing tournament type of experience. Instead of going out in search of sea trout and redfish and snook, we're going out in search of abandoned and derelict crab traps and fishing gear and other forms of marine debris. And last year, during the first year of our project, we had 350 volunteers turn out over the course of 7 half-day events, and they collected almost 27,000 pounds of marine debris. So this year, we've got a wonderful opportunity from the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation and the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. They've provided us with a grant for 24 months of funding. It's going to carry us into 2020 and allow us to expand from beyond Tampa Bay, which was the location of our first project experience. And we're going to be expanding to new sites in Apalachicola, Homosassa, Cocoa Beach, Jacksonville, and also events still here in Tampa Bay. And as part of that upcoming project period, we're going to be test piloting a new product that recreational anglers might want to consider using with their crab traps. That product is called the Rescue Unit, and it was developed by some Norwegian crab fishermen, including the famous Sig Hansen, who your listeners might recognize the name from the Deadliest Catch television show. And basically, they've created a secondary buoy. It's like a reserve parachute for skydivers, so that if your primary buoy becomes severed from the trap by either a storm or a boater who didn't see it and they were passing in the night and cut your trap line, this secondary buoy, it works on a time release system, and will actually pop up after a period of days, and you can set the time to what you think is adequate. And that buoy pops up, and you get a second chance to find your trap instead of having it lost to continue ghost fishing.
Wow. I was mentioning to Carolyn. Carolyn has a company called Atlas Trax. I don't know if you're familiar with Carolyn's products, but I thought that might be a good application for Atlas Trax to put them on these buoys out there and protect the trap.
I couldn't agree more. Yeah, Carolyn, I'd love to chat with you about that. We've been having some discussions about exploring that technology and how we might be able to adapt it for what we're doing. So we should talk about it.
I would love to do that too. And, right now we've been contacted by actually Disney Cruise Lines. They want to put some trackers on their navigational buoys that are at their mouth of their Bahamian island. We've got some lobster pot projects we're working on up in Maine for the poachers for the lobster traps. So, yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, this opportunity to do some research work and survey work with the new product, testing it out here in Tampa Bay in particular. It's a nice opportunity for OceanAid 360 to try and be part of some innovation in the crab trap fishery space, if you will. We'd like to see whatever we can do to help fishermen in our area, recreational guys and commercial guys, if they're interested in looking at this with us, bring them new innovations and things that might help improve their experience on the water. So, we're going to be doing this testing of this new product, the reserve buoy system, over the next year, and going to be issuing some reports on our website and everything about that, our experience at West.
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit there, Captain Neil. You're breaking up a little bit.
Okay. Sorry, Riscala. I don't know if you can hear me now, but basically, excited to test out this new innovation and see how it might function for our area anglers.
Excellent. Well, one thing that you didn't mention, and I come from a plastics background. I ran a plastics plant in Hialeah, Florida for a little over a decade. And plastic's a beautiful product when you consider it can be recycled over and over again with very little compromise on the end product. But it's a nightmare when it gets out there and it's put into the environment. And so I came from a background that it's if you're going to do something, you should have the responsibility to recycle that, whatever that might be. Now, you mentioned that you pulled up, was it 27,000 pounds? Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 26,000 and a half.
Okay, so 26,000 pounds. But what you didn't mention was a lot of this that you just pulled up is actually recycled, and then it is used to help, if I'm not mistaken, build oyster beds, right?
Yeah, that's exactly right. We partnered with Florida's Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, and they were working on standing up some new oyster reef areas, trying to kind of seed little areas along the shoreline where there was water quality issues. And they found that the blue crab trap wire mesh materials with barnacle growth and life already on them happens to make a fantastic base layer to recruit new larval oysters and clams and that kind of thing, bivalves. And so they're working with us to take our trap materials and create these new oyster reefs to improve water quality in areas, particularly up around the Angelia River in northeast Florida.
So we're not taking trash per se. I mean, one man's trash is another man's treasure, but that's a whole other story. But we're not taking something that we would refer to as trash or garbage and just moving it from one place to another. We're taking it and making something useful out of it. See, that's so important now, because of the generation I grew up in was trained and told that the generation prior to them is leaving you a better place than what they had, and so that you're responsible for leaving a better place in your generation for the next generation. And this is how we do it. This is how it gets done. Projects like these, where you go out and you get involved in these. The Ghost Trap rodeo is one of them. You get involved with these and you help clean up the environment, and you get rewarded. The environment gets rewarded, the fish get rewarded, and you get rewarded. Who loses in this? Honestly, think about that for a minute. Who is the loser? There isn't one that I can think of. Can you think of one, Captain Neil?
I cannot. No, I cannot. No, it's a fantastic win all the way around.
Yeah. So how can you not support something like that? So are you having another one? Do I understand correctly? There's another Ghost Trap rodeo. I know there's one coming up during the summer, next summer, but is there one coming up shortly?
There's one coming up in early January. It's going to be in Apalachicola, and that's where we're kicking off our event series.
Excellent. And you have, when this gets done, so that people understand, you guys just don't go out there and grab crab traps. Describe how this is done.
Great question. So we prefer to conduct our events during the closed crabbing season, which is a well-defined period of days defined by the Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission, FWC, and any traps which remain in the water during that closure period are legally obligated to be removed from the watershed, from the fishery, because they're deemed to be no longer actively fishing. They've been abandoned to the fishery. So we go out during those periods and we remove traps. During some cases, when FWC tells us that there's a specific need in an area, we will go out and conduct an event during the open season. But during that case, we teach and train our volunteers, and we also provide on-the-water observation of all the retrievals and everything to ensure that any traps which are removed from the fishery meet a very specific set of criteria that renders them derelict. Our aim is to never, ever take anybody's fishing gear if they are actively fishing it, because we understand that it's expensive to replace, and we definitely don't want to impact anybody's livelihood and have everybody have equal access to the fishery. So, yeah, our aim is just to remove those traps that people have abandoned to the fishery or lost during the course of a storm or by a boat strike.
Do you ever find traps that are out there that can be, I know you reuse them, recycle them, but I mean that can be reused as traps again?
Well, at this point in time, the regulation on that and our permitting that we have from the FWC is very specific. They don't want us to keep and reuse those traps. They want us, because they don't want to run into any issue with them being sold or anything like that, and having some kind of monetary motivation for pulling more traps than necessary. So all wildlife, including blue crabs and stone crabs and any fin fish or anything like that we find in the traps, is inventoried and immediately returned to the water, released alive where possible, of course. And the traps are either provided back to FWC for the oyster reef restorations or provided to a recycling facility.
That's awesome.
And in cases where the item can't be recycled, depending upon what type of marine debris composition it is, it will sometimes go to the landfill. But we really try to minimize that. We want to recycle anything and everything we can.
Well, and crab traps, if I remember right, they're like concrete and wood, right? Is that what they're made out of?
Well, in our experience, the blue crab traps are typically wire mesh. Sometimes they have a light plastic coating on the wire mesh, whereas stone crab traps are plastic. They kind of look like a milk crate with concrete poured into the bottom, typically.
Yeah.
And this is a challenge for recyclers. They have a hard time dealing with the concrete. oftentimes there'll be 20 pounds of concrete in the bottom of the stone crab trap, and their recycling system is not geared up to take the concrete and deal with that.
Yeah.
So it puts us in the situation of needing a sledgehammer to knock the concrete out of every single stone crab trap, or work with recyclers over the next few years to hopefully develop a better approach to how this can be recycled.
I'm thinking, I'm not sure that I'm accurate about this, but I'm thinking if concrete can be ground back down, I think it can be reused again. I think, if I'm not mistaken. They have to add something back to it, but if there was a way to grind it down, if there was such a way, and get it back down to a powder, I think they add lime or something to it, and it can be used again. It's one of the things about concrete. I think I'm correct about that. I'm not positive, but you can check that out if you have an opportunity. I think Carolyn tried to say something, and I walked her. I'm sorry, Carolyn. Go ahead, Carolyn.
No, I'm getting my chemistry class right now. So, no, I'm
All right. Because
I just wanted to mention to Carolyn that one of the thing that's interesting about this experience, pulling the derelict traps and inventorying them and everything, is just the diversity of species which becomes stuck inside of these traps and can potentially be killed through the experience. And once they die, they act as bait for more fish and crabs to come in behind them and get stuck in the trap. But we found redfish, flounder, sheep's head, all kinds of things, plus all the crabs, of course. But just the other day, I pulled up a derelict pot and looked inside, and there was a flounder in it that was keeper-sized flounder. But I couldn't help but think to myself, based on all of the growth on the trap and everything, I thought, how small must this flounder have been when he got inside the trap and now can't get himself back out? And he was just looking at me with his eyes through the hole of the trap, So, yeah, it's really important that we try to address this issue, try to help fishermen on the recreational side and commercial side where possible, to limit the losses of traps and try to get the ones that are no longer being actively fished out of the water. So that's what our aim is, and to educate and do what we can to remove these pieces of equipment which aren't being used.
And for our listeners, you're seeing these visually. They're not in very deep water. You're driving around and seeing them on the bottom, correct?
That's a great question. Yeah, we tend to schedule all of our events during the late fall and into the late spring of the following year. And that's because when those periods of lower water temperatures, the water clears up a bit more. And you're able to apply the same sight fishing techniques that you'd use to pursue snook or redfish or sea trout on the flats and beaches, and go using those techniques looking for abandoned traps instead. So it's been pretty effective so far, very effective, I'd say. And we're looking at also introducing some side scan technology where possible. But our bread and butter is that sight fishing experience Florida fishermen and fisherwomen are so good at.
Awesome, my friend. I greatly appreciate what you do. Everybody wins. How can you not support something like that? Everybody wins. Even the fish win. I love it. Now, the one thing that you didn't mention, these may be non-active for the people that are going after them, but they're still active as they're in the water. This is something that people may not realize, that crab trap may be down there and there may not be a buoy to identify it, but that doesn't mean it's still not working. There's still activity happening. So what you're doing is not only cleaning up the environment, you're actually stopping the death of, who knows how many different species of fish.
Yeah, that's right. We want to make sure that there are more crabs and more fish for the commercial guys, for the recreational guys, for everyone, and women, obviously. We want to make sure that all of us as Floridians have a chance to experience abundant natural resources that can sustain our economy and our fishing passions recreationally. So, yeah, we're happy to be conducting this work, and we really love to see the look on people's faces when they put the story together and get a chance to get out there on the water with us and participate in one of our events. I think it's really a life-changing experience in some ways, for especially for young people who might not be thinking about this issue in the day-to-day. this is an opportunity for them to come out and make a positive impact by removing plastics and other kinds of trash from our marine environment, and come to learn something about ghost fishing and derelict fishing gear as well. So, and the only thing I'd want to add is that if any of your listeners today have any hot spots or anything like that they would like to recommend to us for consideration for a Ghost Trap Rodeo event, then they can find us at OceanAid 360 on Facebook.
All right, my friend. God bless you. Wish you an awesome day. Our weather isn't really cooperating on this side of the state. I don't know about your side. Didn't look too bad, but you're probably suffering for some wind or something over there. But wish you an awesome day regardless of the weather. And thank you so much for the update. And thank you for sharing with us. And I'm looking forward to having you back on with telling us more about what's going on. Let Carolyn say goodbye to you, and we're going to go to a quick break.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for all you do, Neil. And I'll be reaching out to you this week. Maybe I can help in some fashion to do some testing as well.
Thanks, Carolyn. Yeah, I'd really appreciate that. And Riscala, thanks for the opportunity. I want to tell your listeners that our red fishing over here in Tampa Bay has just been magnificent over the last couple of months.
Great.
I was out there 2 days ago catching big breeder redfish in about 18 inches of water, watching the schools push around and sight casting to them. I caught one that had over 65 spots on it. So really cool. Yeah.
All right. We'll speak with you soon, my friend. God bless.
Okay. Thanks so much.
To the Fishing in Florida show with your host, Riscala Stevens. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Everywhere you look, people are talking about CBD. That's why it's such an exciting time to experience HempWorks, the best-selling, most in-demand line of premium CBD oil and CBD products for your health and wellness. Founded by entrepreneur, executive, and business coach Janice Wagle, HempWorks premium quality standards can be found from the top down and across the organization. From hemp farms to clean extraction methods to safe bottling, every step in our production process is vetted, monitored, and traceable, literally from the ground up. Thanks to our unique tracking system on the side of every HempWorks CBD tincture, we can track each batch of CBD oil all the way back to the farm it came from, all to ensure that you are offering safe, effective, and high-grade CBD products.
For more information, go to mydailychoice.com/red pill. That's mydailychoice.com/red pill. And you'll find a whole variety of products available for you.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
We have ignition. Strap in. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Grab my fishing pole and cast it in the water. I fish until dawn. Oh my, I caught a shark. I'm fishing and blowing on. When the sun shines all day. It just caught me a grouper. So I'm fishing and blowing on. Oh yeah. Fishing and blowing on.
Good morning from the Sunshine State. Broadcasting from Palm Beach County, it's the Fishing in Florida show. Sundays from 8 to 10 a.m. on the WCET FM network. And now, here's your host, Riscala.
All right, we are back. It is the final segment of the show, and it is an honor and a privilege to have you listen in. The easiest way to listen to us is to download our app. You can find that at the Google Store, at the Apple Store. It's absolutely free. There's no catches. There's no spyware, no adware. There are no push notifications. It is under WCET FM. And you can also find it under Fishing in Florida, but WCET FM is our home network. A big thank you to Marina Rock Radio. They're one of our affiliates. If you have the TuneIn app, you can find us on the TuneIn app under Marina Rock Radio. If you're on the web, www.wcetfm.com. If you're on Facebook, Fishing in Florida, and click on Contact Us. This morning I have Carolyn with Atlas Trax. If you want to protect what you love to the max, you got to talk to my friend over there at Atlas Trax. Welcome back, Miss Carolyn.
Thank you so much, Riscala. That was a great chat with Neil.
Yes, it sure was, and I'm looking forward to this one now. I want to see if our wondrous Angelia has met up with any of the mahi that are out there. Have you caught any yet, my dear? She's muted herself. I can't.
We all do that with you.
Sorry. Are you kidding me? This last week down in the Keys has been a wet and a windy one, and I mean really wet and really windy.
Welcome to our world.
I don't think anybody's done much fishing this week. I did know that some of the head boats that were brave enough to go out, because those guys are hardcore, they've been doing really well on the snapper and the grouper, limited out on yellowtails, so they've been doing really good. My only consolation prize is this type of weather for a week usually brings in those winter fish really hard. So I know that the wahoo were already getting picked up here and there, and I was hoping, I hadn't heard of any sailfish, but sailfish weather was coming. So that cold front this last week, with that rain and that wind that still is not great yet today. But yeah, that should bring in our winter fish really good. That should bring in the sailfish in a big way. So I'm really excited about that. And there better be some mahi left out there for me, dang it. Kids can catch mahi off the dock, and I can't catch a mahi this year. So I'm exaggerating, of course, but I'm close.
Well, we won't tell you that Robert said they're everywhere.
You know what? I've heard that from so many people, and I just kind of think it's funny at this point. I'm still going to try. Don't get me wrong. If they're still out there and they're still everywhere, I'm still going to give it my darndest. But, man, then this weather this week, that didn't please me too much. But it's okay, guys. The fish are here. The fish are coming in. In the backcountry, I heard the last guest. Number one, I really, really support those ghost trap roundups. Really, really good for our keys and good for our fisheries. So I commend that gentleman very, very much. But he was absolutely correct. I've seen tons and tons of pictures lately of people on the bay side catching really nice snook and really nice redfish. So, like I said, this is just my favorite time of the year down here to fish. It's just awesome.
Well, he's in your neighborhood, your old neighborhood, I might say. He's over on the West Coast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he works off the West Coast.
Doesn't matter where he is. He's absolutely, I support him 100% with those ghost trap roundups. We have a major problem down here in the Keys with that.
They're expanding.
They do several of those events.
Yeah, they're expanding. I think he said they're working and they're looking at something on the East Coast as well, but they've been predominantly on the West Coast so far. And in a lot of it, well, no, I shouldn't say a lot of it, but at times they were in the Tampa area. And he also works, somehow they're related with, I don't know if you remember Lisa Fitzgerald, she's with the CCA of Florida. And the two of them work hand in hand. And it's another outfit that has I mentioned earlier, it's the only tournament I've ever heard of that has a category that's for trash. You pick up trash and you might win money. It's amazing.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's absolutely awesome.
The kind of stuff I love to support. So it's pretty messy up here, and I imagine it's pretty messy down there where you're at.
It has been absolutely ugly messy for at least 5-6 days now. Today it's not so rainy, but it's just kind of ugly and kind of overcast, and it's still windy. But this last week has just been a soaker. We've had coastal flood advisories every day, just because of the amount of rainfall we were getting. Yeah. An insane amount of rainfall, really heavy winds. I mean, way too heavy to be comfortably fishing in, that's for sure. It's been a really slow week in the Keys, but it's that time of year, so we can't really complain. We cherish our beautiful days at this point in the year, you know?
Well, at least it's cooling off a little bit. We don't have to deal with the drastic heat, because that's the other thing. If it's not raining like it is right now, then it's sun shining. It's a beautiful day out there, but it's pretty hot. So you got to get used to that, too. So.
Amen, hallelujah. The temperatures dropped probably 10 degrees down here, and the water temperature has also dropped about 10 degrees. Rain, I can't talk this morning. All this rain will really cool our water down fast, and a week solid of rain like this, our water temp's probably 10 degrees less right now. It was already going down, and this rain will make it dramatically go down. Now, how long that'll last once the sun comes back out, you never know. But but the water probably has a little chill to it right now, at least for us, cool. Keys people.
Go ahead, Carolyn.
I was just saying, you don't have that sun to warm you right back up when you hit that cold water.
Yeah.
But I mean, up here in Deerfield, it's I think we were talking before you came on. It's pretty gray and still wind as can be right now.
Yeah,
It is overcast and gray, and it's a dreary day in the Keys right now.
I think it's all up and down. I looked at the map. It was kind of spooky when I first looked at it. Holy smokes, it looks almost like a hurricane's developing literally just to the east of us. A huge area. And it extends from down where you are, down in the Keys, all the way up into Washington, D.C. There's disturbed weather all the way up the coast. So whatever this is pretty big.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. We're definitely getting it down here for a week solid. As soon as we think it's going to go away, it comes right back. So it's been super soggy. The last 3 or 4 or 5 days, just like I said, it's almost rained all day long.
That combined with the wind, see now people are saying, well, it's only 15 or 20 mile an hour wind, but here's the problem. It's been raining for how long? The ground is now totally saturated. So the ground is not a great anchor for some of these trees. And all it would take sometimes, I mean, I'm exaggerating, but sometimes all it would take is a little push and the tree will go over. So that's the danger that we're running into. And some of these trees, of course, are around power lines. So this is the stuff that a lot of people don't think about. Okay, well, it's raining and raining and raining, but it's only 15 or 20 mile an hour winds. There's nothing to worry about. After it's been raining this long, nothing to worry about, but it's something to be concerned with. Something to have your eye, keep your eyes open, because I know the ground where I'm at. When I took the dog out this morning, where we were walking, which normally a higher ground, was almost like walking on a sponge. It was just soaking wet.
Everything in the Keys, if it has grass at all, it's like walking on a sponge, and everything else, parking lots, sand lots, gravel lots, dirt lots,
wow.
They are all saturated right now. Yeah,
Wow.
we're definitely saturated. Like I said, we've had coastal flood warnings all week long, and it's not because of high tides, it's because of rain.
Yeah.
We have just gotten that much rain.
Wow. Go ahead, Carolyn.
I was going to say, so today, what do you got on the schedule for today? If you're not taking anybody out, you're just going to relax like the rest of us? Or you got a gear preparation?
Absolutely. Carolyn, it's an absolute gift, and yes, that is exactly what I'm doing today.
Yeah, this area, I'm looking at the map again, and this area is still lingering over us, and we've got some more. We're going to have to deal with some more as the day goes on. 90% chance of thunderstorms, not just rain, they're saying thunderstorms, which of course with them comes with the wind and with the ground already being saturated. Again, keep your eyes open. Not a day to think about going to the beach. We have all kinds of beach warnings going on, severe rip tides. When you guys go to the beach, you got to remember all that water coming in's got to go back out. Be careful where that water's going back out. You don't want to get caught up in that. It's a day to stay home and enjoy yourself. Stay with the family and enjoy some family time. Or maybe, as Pam likes to say, today's a maintenance day. Well, get out your gear and clean it up and get it ready for, it's not going to be like this forever. That we know. Are you there? Did I lose you? Yeah, I think we're...
Nope, I drifted out. I'm back.
Yeah.
I don't know if we still have Angelia.
I'm not sure if we have it.
Still with you.
All right. Well, we're running down on time. If you want to meet Angelia, you can do that. She's down in the Keys. She's also happens to be a professional captain, a guide, and who is licensed in several different categories. One of which is taking you out and catching your fish. And if you want to reach her, how do people reach you, Angelia?
Great time of year to fish, guys, and the tourism's a little slower, so I highly recommend it. You can always find me on Facebook, Florida Salty Cowgirl, Instagram, Florida Salty Cowgirl, and you can always text me on my personal phone, 813-610-0078. And like I said, it's my favorite time of the year to fish, so come on.
Go ahead, Carolyn.
Absolutely. I can't wait to get down there and finally jump on that hydrosport with you. So as soon as the weather clears out and you've got a spare day, I'll drive down for the day.
Hot dog.
Looking forward to it, Carolyn. Yeah, I can't wait.
You got it, Angelia.
God bless you, my friend Angelia. Thank you so much for calling in and following up with us and giving us the fishing report down out of the Keys. Wish you well, my dear. And Miss Carolyn, thank you for being co-host this morning. God bless you. Wish you an awesome day, regardless of the weather. And we'll be back in a week. Don't go too far, my friends. It's going to be a wet day. God bless.
See you next week.